Freddie, what are your thoughts on Suspiria? You've shared a decent amount already, but what do you
No,
think
I
of it
love this
overall?
movie. I absolutely fell in love with this movie. It was definitely like one of those things where it's like I knew this is one of the major horror films that I have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's been talked about so many times. People always post like pictures of how beautiful it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And me going completely blind, I really enjoyed myself. I feel like it has so much to offer, especially as a first time viewer. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's not going to be as impactful the more times you watch it, but I feel like it can still
I'm
pick
gonna
out new
disagree. This
things.
movie still works. I mean, it's not as impactful, I guess,
Right.
but like, I don't know. My appreciation, I feel like, is growing every time I see it.
And I 100% agree with you. I think rewatchability is there. You can
Oh
rewatch
yeah.
this over and over again and still have a really fun time. I just feel like that first time watch
No, okay, yeah. Well, especially
hits it
going
out
in
of the
blind,
park.
I'm sure. Yeah, that
Yeah,
helps. So
and
if you're
it's
listening to
hard
this,
these
don't
days.
listen to it. It's a little late, but go see the movie.
Yes, see the movie before listening, of course. Even like just talking about it, I feel like you still have a visual difference actually watching it too. So even if you heard this, if you still haven't seen it, you'll still have a
Oh yeah.
blast watching it.
Well, and this is a movie where like the plot isn't that important. Like the bare bones, like going through
Yeah,
the plot from A
it's
to
the
B to
delivery.
C. That's so different from the actual experience of the movie. Like we might have recounted every scene. I'm sure we missed, little scenes here and there.
Right.
I missed the weird scene in the locker room where they talk about everybody whose name starts with S is a snake. That
Oh
was a
yeah.
weird scene. We skipped little things like that, but like the experience is so much more because it's such a visual experience and it's such a auditory experience too with the music. Also,
Yeah.
we can't do justice to that music just talking about it, obviously. So,
Yeah, when people call this a horror masterpiece, I have to agree with them. It's
all
like
right.
this definitely withholds the stand of time. I feel like you can go into this even like 10 years from now and still appreciate this. I think it holds up very well.
I mean, we're in complete agreement. This is in my top 5 horror movies ever.
Wow.
And it has been for a while. It's no particular order: Psycho, The Exorcist, Wicker Man, and Jaws. I love Jaws. I mean, Jaws is a movie I grew up with.
Yeah.
I can't say no to Jaws. But yeah, so it's right up there. There's a common thread of 70s movies with the exception of Psycho. I'm a big 70s horror fan. I don't know what it was about that decade. A lot of people love 80s horror. 70s for me was when they got really weird. Suspiria being no exception. The Wicker Man is another really, really weird movie. But I like movies that just feel like they're their own thing. They're not... This movie, we mentioned there's like a loose connection to Giallo, but this movie is its own thing. It doesn't conform to anything else. It's just Dario Argento and, his late wife's Daria Nicolodi, who co-wrote this movie with him. It's their just like vision. And it's the writing is part of it, but the direction and the cinematography is so much of it too. Also, I don't know, I noticed the music. Goblin is the band that performs the music, but Argento has a credit on the music. It says music by
Interesting.
Goblin and Dario Argento. I don't know. I don't understand that because Argento also, he has some kind of credit on the Dawn of the Dead score as well, or maybe just the European version of Dawn of the Dead or something, which was just called Zombie, but I don't know. There's like
Right.
something weird. Argento might be a secret musical genius too. I don't know.
I mean, it could be. He probably, I mean, if you look at this movie, he's a really good person for attention and detail and putting a lot of effort into something. So there's probably a certain sound that he wanted out of this entire score. So he probably worked heavily with them to like actually make the music.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.